As I approached the small round window in the attic, I was suddenly pulled aside, dropping my box of pizza. From that moment on, I was no longer free. I was caged and on the run. I was hiding in the attic, and I didn't know why, and I realized I wasn't alone. The person who pulled me away was there with me. He wasn't normal. He had powers that made him anything but normal. I had abilities too. High endurance and enhanced strength. Not quite superhuman, but stronger than before. We talked about escaping, though I didn't know what we were escaping from. Then it was too late. A red and yellow orb floated up from below. Toby ducked behind boxes and signaled for me to follow. We crawled slowly to avoid it. We went back down the stairs I had come up earlier, but the area had changed. It was no longer a university. It was a prison. We made it back to our cell. The attic somehow was extremely important. The next day followed a routine. Wake up, exercise, eat, return to the cell. We were treated harshly. Then came the moment of escape. Instead of going to exercise, I followed Toby back to the attic window. Somehow we got out, but they were waiting for us. We didn't know it yet. We thought it would be clean. Toby climbed easily. I couldn't stick to the walls like he could, so he created small patches of webbing for me to walk on, just big enough to use, but not noticeable. It worked. When we reached the ground, someone was there waiting. A figure in black, masked, white eyes, a deep voice. He marked us and vanished. That's when the group arrived. They had been warned. The troops were dressed in orange and red, not quite armor, but clearly uniformed, and a fight broke out. Toby's abilities were limited. The walls were too high for him to escape. So we fought, but strategically, while moving through the courtyard while searching for an exit. A giant appeared, dressed in the same orange and red. He acted like a bumbling baby. He seemed soft and friendly. I wasn't sure whose side he was on, but the colors gave him away. He hugged Toby, then claws came out of his hand, piercing Toby's skin. I grabbed another person and threw them into the giant, freeing Toby. The giant fell, and Toby was injured, but the adrenaline kept him moving. We reached a small bridge over dark, murky water. I couldn't see the bottom, and I didn't want to. I had a fear of what may be in there. As we crossed, voices shouted behind us. Yellow-orange orbs flew overhead along with surveillance drones, and one spotted us. They caught up. A fight broke out. One enemy fell into the water and never resurfaced. My fear deepened. After what felt like an hour, we crossed the bridge and reached a section of fence that wasn't electrified. Toby had been working on it for weeks, maybe months. We slid through and ran as hard as possible, not knowing how much time we had till we were spotted again. We found ourselves in the woods hiding. Patrol vehicles passed by searching, but they didn't see us. Eventually, we reached another fence, razor sharp. We stacked sandbags, covered the edge, and climbed over. On the other side stood a massive tent. Toby said, "That's it. Once we pass through, we're free." Near the entrance lay a woman with pink hair, wearing the same orange and red. She claimed she wasn't with them. She warned us they were nearby and told us to follow her. Inside, the tent was enormous and empty. She told us to hide. The tent shifted, covering me as if it were alive. I became part of the wall. A group passed through, and when they were gone, we exited. The area looked like a broken circus, abandoned and decayed. We followed her to the edge of the forest, where it opened into another circus area and ended at a waterfall. I had a feeling we had to jump, and I was right. I leapt into the deep water, and then I woke up. Some dreams don't end. They just wait.
This was only the surface. The full story lives in the details we didn't have time to touch. If you want the meaning behind the images, the symbols, the choices, and what they say about us, watch the full interpretation. Some dreams don't end when you wake up. They wait to be understood.